Okay? As I mentioned earlier, purpose gives you a higher and greater reason to live other than for yourself. And to even marry, I'm talking about Christians, to marry without knowing your purpose, that violates Genesis 1 and 2, what we talked about. Because purpose was given first. And for any of us, and I know we can do things out of ignorance.
Then what do you do when people that's already married?
Okay.
And they didn't know nothing about no purpose?
Yeah, like 99% of people, we didn't. Then you find it.
So
you seek it.
So you start, so as a couple.
See, because once again, without it, and I'm talking about Christians. What did we say? It's difficult for a Christian marriage to survive when it's absent of divine purpose. Because without divine purpose, you don't have anything higher other than you.
But couples that's already married, how can they find a divine purpose?
They need to seek the Lord. And one of the ways, and scripturally, well, praise the Lord, you're in a ministry like this, but you get in the church where you're supposed to be, and you will find it. And that is so important, because it's something bigger than you. Good example, I use myself. Me knowing my purpose, I don't live for just me. Me knowing my purpose, there's a reason why I won't do wrong. You know, my purpose helps and sustains me from not violating this marriage. See, it's not just because I love you, because like I say, we can get emotional and I can get in my flesh. See, the purpose that's so important because that connects you to God. You know, so it's really about God first. And you mentioned earlier, I don't want to hurt the Lord. I don't want to hurt her. And I don't want to hurt the body. Now, if I didn't have that higher purpose, what she don't know won't hurt. Y'all feel me on that? She won't get hurt because she don't know. Because I'm sneaky. You know? So it's got to be higher than that. You know, one of the things you said this years and years ago, and you telling even with well, not just with men and women, is find somebody who loves God even more than you. Because without God, none of us are trustworthy.
That's true.
See, don't believe that, oh, he loved me so much, she'll never. No. There's no truth to that. Because remember, we can't keep ourselves. Now unto him, Jude says, who's able to keep us from falling, from backsliding, if we allow him to. You can't keep yourself. My commitment to you alone can't keep me from the candy I see.
Yeah, that's true.
And vice versa.
Vice versa, because
that was too real, I think.
It was too real, but it's real though.
It's real.
It's so real because I remember the time when my emotion was very high, and I'm like, you know what? I've said in a minute, I don't have to take anything. I don't have to succumb to wait till you get yourself together. That's too. I'm not waiting on you to get yourself together. And the only reason that I did not go in a direction of cheating on him because of the God. Yeah. Because it wasn't like it wasn't available for me. Believe me, it was available. I had men giving me money. So it wasn't like it was not available.
Where that money at? Give me my cut.
I did not take the money. But he called me up and said, I'm going to bring the money over. And I said, you better stay at home, buddy. Yeah. And but I was not going to do it based on
somebody said years ago, long, before some of you all were even born, long time ago.
Some of y'all was born.
Some of them was.
No, but it's serious though. But
it really is.
It's God that said, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going, and I always believe, some people go with people that they know and all we friends with. I don't play that.
No,
I don't play with
no,
somebody that
no.
everybody friends with. That's
Right.
so silly.
Yeah.
That's a stupid position. If you're going to cheat, go with somebody all the way in Africa. You know, nobody can see them. You don't go among friends. I mean, it's so silly. But everybody go with everybody everybody know everybody.
Like a soap opera.
Like a soap opera. Passing each other around.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think we can open up for a Q&A on that. Once again, those of you viewing, if you'd like to ask us a question, fill out the information, and hopefully we can answer your question before we go off air. All right. Okay, here's an online question. My sister lives out of state, and on the rare occasion I see her, I end up getting upset many times due to her husband. My feeling is that he's immature and self-centered. I feel my sister is blind to that. Do you have any advice? Okay, my sister lives out of state, and on rare occasion I see her, I end up getting upset many times due to her husband. My feeling is that he's immature, self-centered. I feel my sister is blind to that. Do you have any advice? Well, that can be a very touchy situation, especially if the person doesn't see it. Because we've both known people where it was as open sesame that the person was doing what they were doing and the individual refused to see it. And then if you tell them, they get mad at you. Oh, you just jealous. So this is a kind of, depending on what it is, and I understand that, if this is your sister, your brother, your loved one, nobody wants their relative getting dogged out.
But it really shows how weak a person is.
Yeah.
And it shows that, it's a funny thing about marriage and to be married. It's amazing how much you would take just to stay married.
Yeah.
You'll take whatever you have to take to stay married. Even though he can dog you out, even though he's not supporting you, even though and just to keep the marriage going.
Yeah.
I would take whatever I take just to stay married.
Yeah.
Because I'm so in love with the marriage part and not in love with the person. I just want to be married.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone. I don't want to try to do this by myself. I will stay with you to the end.
Yeah.
Even though I'm unhappy. It don't make a difference if I'm unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will stay with you. And you got someone who will stay with a man and they are unhappy and they don't care about what everybody say. They don't care that they got a girlfriend. They don't care about nothing. I just want to stay married.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, when you have issues like this, and we're not saying this is entirely it, but whenever anyone, man or woman, stays in an abusive relationship, it's because of fear. Low self-esteem, insecurity is all fear. Or thinking you can't get somebody, or thinking it comes under the umbrella of fear. When there's any type of abuse or neglect in anything, and one stays in it, like you have some people stay in it because of finances, that's fear. I stay with him because he got a job, that's fear. Well, I don't want to pay alimony or child support or whatever, that's fear. So all of those things, it falls under the umbrella of fear. But like I said, in a case like this, not really knowing exactly what it is, I'm assuming that the sister knows what's going on and whatever. If you're a Christian, seek God on some direction with that, kind of watching. Sometimes you got to play things by ear because, you have to have wisdom in something like that. That would be the same as, say if you saw, if a sibling saw their sibling's husband or wife cheating, actually saw it, do you just instantly address it? No, not really. You got to use wisdom with that. Because first of all, that could be a very harmful, hurtful thing. You know, so you don't instantly go run. Oh, I saw him or I saw her. You got to use wisdom with that. You know. Now, I'm not saying you just let it go by forever. Because like I say, no loving family member wants their loved one to be abused in that way. You know, that's just the nature of all of us. You know, so there will have to be wisdom in it. Now the next one, online question. My husband came home with a plate of food from his female coworker. He says she makes great macaroni and offered him some. I was upset, but he said I overreacted. Did I? Before I give my answer, as a wife, you give a nice good G-rated clean answer. A clean answer.
If it ain't from Priscilla's.
Well, since we're giving that plug out there, I might be there this weekend, so hook us up. All right. See, we ain't give free plugs out to nobody.
I think that's very offensive. You know, now if you get the food and you eat it in your car and I don't know nothing about it, that's different. But if you bring it to my house, oh my God, it's like you want me to throw it in your face. Or you want me to get it and throw it in the ground. It's like, which one do you want? It's like, you know, because I'm thinking to myself, how you disrespecting me tasting somebody else's food? That's disrespectful.
Let's put it like this. I wonder how would a husband feel if the wife say, I got a gift for you. I got this new cologne for you. Because Chuck at my job wear that cologne, and I like the way that smell. Most brothers ain't going for that. You like the way Chuck smells, so you bought me that cologne?
And the thing about this, no woman don't want to be compared.
Nobody does.
Nobody wants to be compared, you know, because you might like her macaroni and cheese, and I can't cook macaroni and cheese. And so you're going to compare, you're going to say, well, now you're going to go to her house
But
for
see,
macaroni
but the key was this. She said she was upset about it. And it doesn't matter. That ended it right there. If she was upset about it, that ended it right there. I didn't like it. I didn't like you.
But you know what? It shouldn't even get to the point that she's upset about it.
But I hear what you're saying.
Ain't no way
but you know what?
You shouldn't even took it.
See, you're looking from you and I. There are people who think certain things ain't nothing wrong with it.
I don't know how you thinking. Something from another person is not wrong.
No. There are people who think there's really nothing wrong. That's just my friend. You know, that's just my friend. What's wrong with that?
I don't even like my husband.
I hear what you're saying.
Let me say this much. You know, I know people in the 90s, the 90 kids, like to have opposite sex as friends and think there's nothing wrong with it. And then you get into a marriage and say, well, these are still my friends. Even though you are married and you think you can be with your friend for lunch, with me at work, and think there's nothing wrong with it, oh, we got a problem. We got a problem. I have a problem with that. I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But the 90 kids are comfortable with opposite sex, going to lunch, going to the movie, going to everything, because we nothing but friends. I'm not comfortable. I'm a 60-year-old. 60.
Born in the 60s?
Born in the 60s. So no. I'm not comfortable with that.
The two things with that, and the one thing I say this, you got to be careful doing that. From a Christian standpoint, we are to abstain even from the appearance. It could be innocent, but it can be taken. So we have a command. We know to not to even deal with evil, but to not even be the appearance of it. And that's sometimes where we miss it at Christians. We ain't saying you're doing anything, but if it can look like it, then I can't do it. See, that's where most Christians, man, I ain't doing nothing. But it don't matter. Nobody's saying you are. So we are to abstain even from the appearance of that. So that eliminates, that squashes out that thought, well, she's just my friend, or he just my, no. They probably is. But if you're a Christian, if it don't look just the appearance of it, I can't participate in the appearance. And that's where a lot of people miss it at.
But the 90s
Now, 90s kid, 80 kids, 70, 60, 1876, it doesn't matter. And then it is a thin line. See, you got to be very careful with that too. And a lot of people don't want to be honest about that either. See, because when you dealing with opposite sex, and then you've got to be careful. Now, I understand the commonality is if you just at work, and that's all we have in common is we work together. If we no longer working together, then that's kind of it.
And then after
That's
a while,
different.
Pastor, what are we talking about? That we together all this time. After I talk about how you doing.
See, like I said, if it's work, it's about work. When it starts getting beyond that and personal, and I've said this 20 plus years ago, no one, if you are married, no one of the opposite sex, if they non-relative, should know anything personal other than the environment that you are in about you. Because believe it or not, you open that door for the devil, and don't think for a minute, because I've seen people for years say, they ain't even my type. The devil can make them become your type for that moment. So don't be deceived because they're not your type today. They can become your type because they can be able to do something for you mentally that you were missing at home, and then that whole attraction becomes different. Somebody needs to give me an offering for that one. That's real life. Now you sit up here and think that ain't true. Yes, it is. That's how you can see some pretty looking people with one-eyed monsters. I wonder how that happened. So don't think that for a minute that because one is not attracted, nothing can happen. Oh, come on, y'all. Listen to wisdom up here. Well, we always say we don't just be talking out of revelation, we talk out of experience too. And we talk to a lot of people.
But everybody's special.
You know, you ain't special. Jump off this building. Let me see if you're going to float in the air or fall down. You ain't special. If we all jump off the building, we all going to fall down.
But what do you have to do with people that say they trust their mate?
We're not saying that. That's not the issue of trust, because we said love, trust is a choice too. But you don't want to put anybody in an awkward position like that, because every marriage is going to go through a moment of insecurity. I don't care how much you tell them they love them 8 times a day. Keep living. There's going to be a moment that brother, when he loses his job, and I know what that feels like, you go through insecurity. When she have a baby and there's an extra stretch mark, she go through an insecurity. So everybody goes through it. So it ain't got nothing to do with I trust. We all go through a moment of insecurity. Now, some of us don't want to admit it or not, but it's the truth. I bet my whole estate on it. Everybody. All right. Let's answer. We're going to, third one was, do the two of you have joint bank accounts? My spouse and I have separate accounts, and I wonder if we are fully becoming one if our substance is separate. Now, there's a reason we don't, and we chose that. But it's not because of lack of trust or trying to hide something. We just chose to do that. Now, there should be no secrets. Now, you don't have no separate account that the other one don't know about. Now, that's the problem in that. Now, we just established that as time went on. We just have separate whatever. Neither one of us ain't trying to hide anything. You know, she know where I bank at. I know where she bank at. And the only reason she chose not, I don't think you know my account. Well, you can, but because it's open. Now, the good thing I know hers, because there are times I'll put money in hers. So there ain't no secret. You know, that was a little word for the husbands right there. You do that, you can get you some fruit cocktail when you come home. So that's up to individuals. And then you have some who have together, and that's whatever works. That's the whole thing, but not no secretive stuff. It ain't no separate accounts, and because I don't want you to know my business. No, none of that. And that goes with anything. You know, nobody didn't have no 5 phones and you don't know. So there should be no secrets about anything. You know, total openness. You know, if asked and all of that. Okay? All right. Come on.
Going along with what you were mentioning about secrets. So I listened to a video. I think they had did a survey or something. They said like 7 secrets you shouldn't tell your spouse, or you don't necessarily have to tell them. So it's a 2-part question. Because sticking with you having like the same sex friends, so like myself having female friends, how much should my spouse know all my emotions? Like if I'm feeling, like sometimes you just want to vent to your girls, but you may not. Should your husband be part of that list of people? I mean, not necessarily like my husband plus my girlfriends, but should your husband should he know everything? Okay. And I'm not saying like, you don't have to know everything, but
right.
Like just certain, like if you venting about, let's say his brother or his mother, or something that he's aware of things. Yeah. Should you just kind of leave that to your friends, like, oh my God, this is bothering me, or should he be aware of those type of emotional things? Like like you want to trust him, but it's like, well, I'd rather tell my girls and not tell him. And it's not a trust. It's just like, do they have to know?
Yeah. Well, two things with that. Having friends is that a good thing? Friends, they have a place in our lives. There are certain things that, you can tell, your friends you can share with, especially of the same sex, that you need to say. There are certain things that a woman can go through that she needs to conversate with another woman. There are some things that can happen that I can't really help her on, other than another woman.
That's right. Amen.
You all feel me what I'm saying with that? And vice versa with a man. There could be some things I could be experiencing that she can't really help me about other than me talking to another man.
Amen.
So relationships still have their proper place. But now, if it's something that can be a problem, I'm using your examples as an in-law or this or that, then if it can become a problem, then we need to talk about it. Because me venting off to my friends about something that can become a problem, that's not going to help it. If it can become a problem, we need to talk about it. If your mama or my mama, God rest their souls, doing some things that can become a problem, then that has happened, and we had to talk about it.
So like you won't get. So let's say if my spouses have an issue with my sister, my brother, my parent, so is that so I guess I use myself. So out of respect, I wouldn't want to come to my husband like, oh my God, your mom is just, yeah. Just out of respect, I wouldn't want to show that frustration to him. But then at what point this is a healthy conversation that we can talk openly, but then you don't want to be disrespectful, talking about, if it's a legitimate concern,
Yeah.
talking about their parent or their sibling, like what, is there a line that's crossed
No,
or?
if it is legitimate and it can affect us in a bad way, you know, and I wasn't joking with that. Out of 36 years, we did have to deal with some in-law issues, especially in the ministry. And it ain't about disrespecting, but if those things don't get addressed and it can pull us apart, that's a problem. See, it's not personal. It ain't like, you know, your mama did this, or if she's your mama, that's not the issue. Like, listen, this was so and so, and we can't. This ain't gonna work like this. You know. Now I'm saying example. This didn't happen. Y'all shout, this didn't happen. This is the only example. That would be like if our kids were small and if they go over my mother, her mother's house, and they cussing and doing all that, and I know it, then we got to talk about it. They can't go over there.
Come on, Pastor. Amen. Come on, Pastor.
Oh, I think I lost somebody with that. It ain't nothing personal. You know, that has to be discussed. Instead of, I don't want to say nothing, telling her mama do all that cussing. No, this is a problem. You know, and as Christians, the Lord will help us with wisdom, but ignoring don't make things go away. Ignoring, trust me, when you ignore too many things, it creates a bigger problem.
Amen. Amen.
See, sometimes we put stuff off that could have been dealt with today, and then we wait the next year, now that thing is huge. And if you would have dealt with it early, you might have had a grace to deal with it. Now, since you didn't say nothing, now all of a sudden this thing huge, like, why are you talking about my mama now?
I've been talking about your mama.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me. Now we got a problem that should have been dealt with.
Okay, so within the confinements of marriage, it should be open conversation. I mean, even if it's not a huge problem, just venting. So, you know, I should feel liberal enough to say, your brother is a loser. I mean, I'm just making something up. I'm not saying like.
Venting, now we're not talking about insulting people or nothing.
Right. I mean, like venting. Like I'm keeping it like
Now,
it's legitimate. Like
we've
it's
got to be careful, even as Christians, even our confession, to not just be saying anything. You know. So, and I'm saying that because people can do that. You know, what's wrong with your brother or your sister? How come they don't get a job? You ain't got to say all that. See, we got to be careful with, there are certain things we still won't deal with each other because it comes fruitless. We ain't to vent off each other. We're to talk for results. It ain't about now, I know this is another lesson now. See, we ain't told to just, I got to get this off my chest. That ain't in here. We talk to resolve, not just to hear each other talk. If we are not resolving, then what are we doing?
You know, it's a certain way you can handle things. You know, without saying his brother's a loser. You don't have to say the word loser. You just say, when he gonna get a job? You know in your head.
But even something like that's even something like that means is it affecting us? If it ain't, there ain't nothing to talk about. That's your brother's problem.
But if the brother coming over to eat every night,
then that's an issue.
and you know he come to eat every night, and then I'm telling you, I have told my husband, my husband that I don't want your brother here after 7.
Yeah. And
he still show up after 7.
Then you tell him again, listen, tell your brother stop coming after 7.
And then what if you don't tell your brother?
I'm gonna tell you one more time. Tell him not, or I'm gonna tell him myself.
You know.
No, I'm giving you the courtesy to talk to your brother. Talk to him. Then you refuse? Did you talk to him? No, I didn't get around to it. Talk to him. Now, depending on you, how many times you want to give, and say, listen, if you don't talk to him, I'm going to talk to him. Because this is a problem. Whether he got a job or not.
Well, I'm just saying, it's certain ways you can get stuff done. You don't have to You don't have to shout about it.
No, you don't. You don't.
Because there's always wisdom in everything we do. And so, if a family member don't like another family member, which means that when we get married, we marry the family too, in the sense of your brothers and my sister. I ain't got no sister or brother, but your family. Well, they are alive.
You do. Yeah, you do. You do.
Anyway.
She's just joking on national air. You do.
And so, if I don't like your brother for whatever reason and stuff, do I stop making your brother come over to the house because I don't like him?
Now, are we Christians? If we not, then that's a whole different ballgame. But if we are Christians, we love people, first of all. So we're not trying to be rude or evil or mean to anybody. But if there's certain things that's happening that can cause problems or things that's creating something that's against our beliefs, then they have to be addressed. See, because we at no cost, now we use wisdom always, but at no cost are we to compromise our beliefs with anybody. No one.
Could you give us an example?
An example?
No.
Oh, yes? Oh, okay.
An example of if you feel how the brother treated you. So like if your brother, so if we're married, so your brother treated me a certain way, or I feel that their personality affects how they treat me. Mm-hmm. And so I'm coming to you like, oh my God, your brother is just, I don't know why they treat me this way because they're this, and I'm this. So that type of frustration vent. So it's just saying, this is how I feel about that situation. This is how I felt when they said this. So that's like that type of is that, and that's where I guess I'm saying is there a line?
But there's something like that can be addressed. It's like, okay, we need to squash this. Where everybody kind of get together. Because there's a reason for it. If my brother treating her a certain type of way, need to find out why. I was talking to someone about 3 months ago who was kind of going through that same situation. So he's and I told him the same thing. Then you all need to talk. Why don't your family, why they treating your wife this way? So there's a reason, obviously. Why you treating my brother like this? What happened? What did he do? Maybe he did something that I don't know about. Now that has happened. That and I'm saying an example, she feel this way because my brother did something that I didn't know about. So that's why she feel like that. And she just didn't want to tell me. There's a reason, always. So that's why we come together and find it, because there's no such thing. I don't know why they don't like me. That ain't true. There's no truth to that. People have emotions, and I'm not saying it's the right reason for dislike, but there's a reason for the emotion. So we need to find out. What's going on? Why is this like this? And sometimes when you discuss it, sometimes it's big misunderstandings, sometimes. Or some get discussed. Listen, this happened, so-and-so, blah, 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 and whatever. And so now as a Christian, then we need to squash this. So it has to be talked out, communication. But nothing is not just for no reason. There's no such thing as this person, they always at me for no reason. There's no truth to that. There's a reason. Now whether it's justified or not, we have to discuss it to find out, but there's always a reason. All right? Okay,
and so staying in that same vein, so how much should you, whether you're married or before you get married, certain things you don't tell about your past? So I've been with 15 people. Right. Is that always necessary, or could you pick, I don't say pick and choose who you say, but if it's somebody who I would know, you let me know, hey, we had a thing, whatever. So do you have to give certain details about your past in general, like you don't have to say everything, or is it good to get it all out so you feel like, and that kind of going to the first question, so you feel like we know everything about each other and we know, enough to start fresh?
Well, two things with that, and you can jump in. Two things with that. Nobody telling everything. So if you sitting up here thinking, my husband told me everything. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And neither did she.
No.
So nobody know everything.
I would like to know you got disease. That's what I want to know. I want to know you got disease. Nobody want to say that part. They want to keep that to themselves.
Yeah, but some things, there has to be wisdom on that, because everybody has a past, and depending on how their past was and certain things they did, and the thing is really is certain things I did in my past, could it affect where we're at now? Certain things like that need to be said.
I don't want to know that you slept with my friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that, because my view of her for not telling me before we got together. Now, my view of her not telling me, then I'm thinking, like, why didn't you tell me? Then my view of him for using both of us.
But see now since you're bringing it like that, and if you're a person who don't want to know that, that's fine. Sometimes there has to be some wisdom in that, because let's say if that was the case, and say, I don't want to know that, nobody said nothing, then it comes out. It could be 10 years old, and hearing it today can feel like it just happened today. So there has to be wisdom. So it's not just cut and dry all the time. Now, so sure, we may not want to know that, but there has to be wisdom where, you know what, there's a possibility that this can come out. So I might need to tell her. Because it wouldn't be good 10 years down the line, and then they got real close, and then it come out that happened. To her, it's like a knife in the back right now. So there has to be wisdom with that. So it depends. But as far as your whole line of past and all that,
just like some men feel it's so noble of them to say, I've been with 20 women. And you bragging on it. And then say, but not you. I'm bad with you. No. That don't make me feel no much better about you saying
that is very foolish for anybody to say that to their spouse or spouse to be in a bragging way. And most times, not all the time, most times, now I can't speak for a woman, when a guy bragging like that, he lying. Because you don't have to brag on the truth. You kind of don't say nothing. But when you're kind of bragging, 20, it's probably 2. You lying. I don't know how we got on something like that.
I don't know.
Come on, couple more and we're going to wrap this up. Hallelujah. Oh, are we wrapping it up? Is that it? No more questions on this? All right. Well, praise the Lord.
Amen.
This has been Let's Talk About Marriage and the Family. This has been the anniversary edition. Praise God. God bless every heart. We'll see you this coming Sunday, 12:30 Central Standard Time. God bless you. Let's thank God.
Amen.
We are not out of word, but unfortunately, we are out of time. On behalf of Better Life Faith Church International, I want to thank you for joining our live stream today. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Let your friends know what you heard today. Also, if you want a copy of this message, or if you just want prayer, don't forget to call our prayer line at 877-324-8497. We'd love to hear from you. And always remember, when you learn better, you'll live better. We are not